We're starting with breath. And feel your belly, your ribs, and your collarbones expanding as you inhale. And as you exhale, release belly, ribs, and collarbones. Inhale, abdomen, ribs, collarbone. Exhale, abdomen, ribs, collarbones. And as you are here, ebbing and flowing within your breath, notice where your head is. Make sure it's not tilting backwards or too far forwards, just in the middle. Notice where your spine is. Relax your jaw. Relax the space between your eyebrows. And feel the space that is within your scalp. The space that allows your brain to be hosted inside your head. And the space inside your ribs where your lungs and your heart live. The space inside your abdominal cavity where all your internal organs reign. The space inside your hips. And you can imagine or sense the space between each of your joints, between each vertebrae, shoulders, elbows, wrists, each of your phalanxes and your fingers, the space in your hips, knees, ankles, feet, and each of your toes. And where there is space, there is pure potentiality. So if you could potentially be or achieve, or dream anything, what would that be? And can you make that your intention for this yoga practice today? Lovely. Working with the element of space, we're going to, you can keep your eyes closed and just let your head go side to side. Can you create more space in your neck? Maybe rotate one shoulder, go to the other side, and rotate the other shoulder in both directions. Chin to chest, and let both shoulders rotate back and rotate forwards. And bring your head back to center and just say no with your head. Feel the little crystals on the back of your neck. You say no quite freely and quickly. having a bit of a brain vibration. And then we say yes. Imagine the space being formed, the back of your neck, between the vertebrae. And then let the chin go towards the chest. Inhaling, exhaling. And bring your head back to center. Good. Now we're going to, the theme for today is to create space. We're going to explore the element of space in the body. And this means that some of the moves that we're going to do don't have a real structure. So let your intuition guide you. I'm going to invite you to sit on the floor on your side, onto your hip. And we're going to have the hands onto the ground as well. And we're going to do like if we were making a wave. So the way that I think of it is like if I'm making a circle with my right hip onto the floor. Hands are on the floor and we are allowing the back to arch back and fold. And change the direction. Rolling the shoulders, the shoulder blades, creating space on the side, on the right side of the body. Good. Still being on your side. Stretch the top leg and just feel that space in the diagonal. Use your arm and see where you need it. So when I'm pulling back with my abdomen, stretching the sides of the ribs, I feel that lovely stretch on the lower back. So you can work within what's there for you. Now bring the left hand behind. Now your chest is opening. Let the space appear in the front of the chest and then let it drop down. And expand, opening. Exhale, drop down. One more, open up. Maybe you want to lift the hip as well. Maybe both legs are straight and you lift the hip. And release. We're going to go on the other side. So sit onto your left hip and let your intuition show you how you can move. These type of things are good to do as well if we have any issues with our knees. We can still do the cat-cow from seated, from being on the side, making a circle with your hip, using your shoulders, using the whole of your spine. And extend the top leg and the top arm, finding space in your ribs, on front of your chest. And let your right hand come behind and maybe lifting the hip. Maybe both legs come out. Good. And sit yourselves up. Bring your arms up and reach towards the sky. Reach in one hand and then the other. Can you imagine that you're creating space underneath your shoulder blades and the sides of your ribs? Now keep one hand up. I'm doing it on my right hand. Bend the elbow and help your right elbow with your left hand to stretch the triceps in here. And the hand, I have it resting on the top of my shoulders. And release. Try the other side. So if one side has a bit more stretching needed, just let it arch to one side. Good. Lovely. And release. Fingertips behind you. Open your chest and find the space between your little bones and your feet and your ankles. Rotating the feet, expanding the toes. And bring your feet towards each other and give them a little squeeze. Allow the bones on your feet to get rearranged. Just feel where you need the release. Good. And have your right foot towards your groin. Hold onto your left big toe. And if you have carpet, like I do, you can use your leggings over your heel or put a sock. If you have hard floor, you can do the same thing. Just see if you can slide the leg up and down and go with it. Go with the sliding leg and change the position. So maybe go forwards at one point, go sideways. Feeling space being created on the hip joint and the knee. And find a position where you feel that you can reap some benefit from it. So the inner thigh in this case. And let the knee go down. The right knee goes down. The left leg is straight. You are holding, if you can't hold on onto the toe, hold onto the ankle or the shin. And pushing the right knee down, rotate your chest, bend your left elbow. And imagine that you're bringing your ear towards your knee. So it's a sideways stretch. Breathe deeply. Holding your toe, feel the feedback of your toe on your index finger and middle finger. So you're pushing the toe against the fingers against the toes, the elbow bends. It's not to do it just by holding, then actually feeling that connection. Good. And bringing yourselves back to center. Let's change sides. Exploring the space that is within, the space that we can find. Just experience wherever is present on this side of the body. If you need to get, also for carpet, sometimes it's good to use a plastic bag to make it slide. Hold your big toe with your index finger and middle finger, left hand onto the knee, and let it slide, changing the angle in which your leg is going. You can also hold from the ankle or the shin. The idea is that the leg is moving and the arm is helping a little bit. That's it. Good. Meanwhile, it just files down your ankle, your heel. Maybe, maybe not. Find that space where you feel that you can benefit from it. If you're holding from the big toe, push the big toe against the fingers and the fingers against the big toe and rotate, imagining that your ear can come towards your extended leg, pushing the other leg down towards the floor. Finding space on the back of your knee, space between your muscles fibers, space on the side of the body, side of the neck. And bring yourselves back to center. Good. Feet together, knees apart. Just shake it out. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Lovely. Bring your feet further away from you, making a diamond shape with your legs for your turtle pose. So turtle pose can be as intense as you wanted it to be. We are going to bring the forehead towards the feet. Some people have huge flexibility in the back and they will go flat into that. Some others stay a little bit further away, like me. That's fine. We're giving the spine the space to stretch. Your hands can be over your feet or underneath. If you have them under your shins, you can also press your shins down towards your forearms, and your forearms feel the connection with the shins, bringing your abdomen in, your pelvic floor in and up. You can go a little bit further, creating space between. And on this one, you will feel it. So your sacroiliac joint gets a little bit of space. This is where your hip has two little dimples on your back, where your back becomes your bottom. Round your back, expanding each of the joints that are between the vertebrae and each of the joint between the ribs and the vertebrae and the thoracic spine. Good. And bring yourselves up. Bring your hands behind you, feet onto the floor, and let your knees go side to side, like a screen wiper. And let the middle knee, so have your feet wide apart. The middle knee goes all the way towards the floor. Don't rush it. Push the knee down and open the chest, opening the shoulder, maybe even lifting your hip off the floor, creating space on the front of the body. Bring it back to center, change sides, space. The shoulder goes back, the ribs open, the hips push up. That's it. Good. If you need to have two blocks underneath each hand, you can do that. Create that space, maybe on your neck as well, collarbones, pushing your hips. Nice. And space to the other side. Good. We're going to come onto the ground and release the back onto the floor. Feet are on the floor, knees are bent. Your hands can be by the sides of your hips or overhead, wherever they feel most relaxed. And we're going to tuck and tilt the hip. So when you're tucking, your pelvic floor goes up towards the ceiling and it contracts. When you're tilting, you have a little gap between the floor and your lower back, and your pubic bone towards the floor. So you tuck and tilt. And your head should naturally move with your breath and with this wave of your spine. Now go side to side. Your head stays in the middle in here, and you're just letting your hip rock side to side. And then make it circle, a full circle on the ground, using your glute muscles to reach each point. Imagine that you have a clock underneath your hip and you're going through all of the hours. And if we were going clockwise, now go counterclockwise, anti-clockwise, and make that circle be worthwhile. Great. Let's continue creating this space in the front of the body. Bring your feet close to your hips. And for that potentiality to be there, we need to be aware of what's happening. So maybe close your eyes and bring your hips up into a shoulder bridge, tensing your glutes, keeping your knees aligned with each other. And release down. Inhaling, moving up. You can lift your heels to create even more space. Imagine that there is a ball underneath, and it's a soft ball or a balloon, and you're softly landing back down. We're going to make this space even bigger by bringing the arms overhead as we come up into shoulder bridge, but delay the movement of the arms. First, the hips move, then the heels come up, big arch, then the hands go overhead. Then let your upper body come towards the floor. We're still on the balls of the feet. Then the arms come by the sides of the body, lower back, hips. Relax your hips and relax your feet. Take a moment. Breathe in. Breathe out. So again, inhale. Push with a full plant of the foot. Push your hips up. Shoulders go towards each other. Lift your heels off the floor, making a big arch underneath your back. Bring your arms overhead. Push it up, creating space at the front of the body and underneath the body. And then release down, keeping the arms behind for as long as you can. Then trying to bring the lower back onto the floor. The arms come back. The heels come back. Rest for a moment. Full inhale. Full exhale. Sway your knees side to side. Twisting side to side is a way of having a counter posture for back extensions. What we're doing now is a back extension with a shoulder bridge. And we're going to continue extending the back and creating space on the front of the body. If you want to, come into sitting to see what's coming next. And we're going to put my hand with my fingers towards my shoulder and the elbow towards the head. So we're bringing the hand floor. If this was the floor, you're bringing the hand onto the floor and resting it in there. So my block is the floor. I can't quite hold it. Then once you're there, you're going to push the elbow onto the floor, and you will feel it a little bit on the wrist. You want the arm to be in this position, but here. Okay, we're going to do it with both arms. So you lie on the floor and bring your hand onto the floor like this, and then push the elbow down, trying to keep the alignment of the arm close to the ribs. That's it. You can think of finding that space on the back of the wrist. Spread your fingers to have your fingers open and grounded. Try both hands, and you can try it more than once. You can let your shoulder blades open up as you press down. You don't need to have the ribs going down. As you're pushing your elbows back, the ribs will open a little bit. Good. Now, can you place both hands onto the floor, elbows going towards each other, and feel the fingers resting on the floor? Can you keep the hands where they are as you bring your hips up into a shoulder bridge and push into the hands, having your elbows towards each other? Release down, shake your hands. So you will feel the sides of your ribs contracting, getting engaged. We're going to do it again. This is a preparation for Chakrasana, the full bridge pose. I won't ask you to do the full bridge if it's not part of your practice yet, but I want you to feel the sensation. So bring your hands onto the floor, your elbows go towards each other, hips come up, and maybe your upper back can lift a little bit. Maybe you even come onto the balls of your feet. And release down, shake your hands. So coming to sitting for a moment. If you have issues with wrists or hands, this will not be available to you. So don't worry about it. For Chakrasana, we are trying to open up the front of the body. You do need to have some strength on your shoulders and on your arms and on the sides of your ribs and your serratus muscles. But a good way to start trying to do it is to bring the crown of the head onto the floor. So my elbows are going towards each other. My crown of the head is on the floor. And I'm just rocking in there, feeling the space that is created. If you have the strength and flexibility, you can come all the way. Otherwise, just experiencing where the head is enough. So try and lie back down. Don't go too far. Let yourself feel that lift. You don't need to go into the full arch. Hands are on the floor, elbows towards each other. Remember that we are creating, yes, if your shoulder is not good, don't do it. Just do a normal shoulder bridge. That's your option, okay? Yes, very good. That's it, Hira, yes. Good, Andrew, yeah. Lovely. That's it, Kathy. Lift your heels so that you have a bigger arch. Yeah, good. This is, yoga is not about acrobatics. This pose is called Chakrasana because it opens all of the chakras in the body. So you have one more go, whichever way. You can do a normal shoulder bridge. And then, yeah, have a little rest. Rock your knees side to side. Good. And you can hug your upper body, just trying to reach towards your shoulder blades with your arms. That's it. And change sides, one elbow over the other. So we have little ones, eh, Andrew? Good, lovely. And rock yourselves up into sitting. So well done for having a go. The bridge pose is not an easy one. We will continue practicing in other classes, but the important thing is that you, for the arms, we were doing this stretch and warm up. When you're doing it on the floor, you're also trying to anchor your hands. And then the head can come onto the floor, and then you can lift yourself. The elbows need to go towards each other. And when you come down, you also come down gently. We'll continue working with that. Okay, roll over your ankles and come up into a downward facing dog, please. We're just stretching the backs of the legs, finding that space and giving the back the opposite to what we were doing. Heels towards the floor, swaying your hips side to side. Feel the space behind your legs, inside your hips. And bring your feet towards the floor, toes together, knees apart. If child's pose is not available because of pains in the knees, just lie onto your back, or you can do the turtle pose. And we're going to give a little bit of space between the floor and the forehead by mounting one fist on top of the other, releasing the shoulders. And we're going to do 5 deep breaths in here. Being aware of the space between our legs, the space between the floor and the chair, space around the neck, underneath the armpits, and the jaw. And when you have done breaths, you can go into Shavasana, either lying on your belly or lying down onto the floor. Whichever way you feel most comfortable. We can also do final relaxation seated. Closing your eyes, connecting with what there is. And scanning your body to feel that spaciousness. Working with the element of space today. Experiencing space. Space can be experienced through your breath, through meditation. You can also experience space within, as we did today. The element of space has pure potentiality. We can be limitless. We just have to believe it, put it into practice. Explore spaciousness between minds, where the ribs meet the sternum, the joints where the ribs meet spine. Space in which the collarbones float up and down as we breathe. Our bellies, welcoming the breath, belly. And it is time to close our session today. And if you are in the right space on the ground, stay there. If you want to occupy your seated space, have a little stretch and come up into sitting to close the class. If you were lying down, you can have a child's pose, or just have a little stretch in the lower back. Sometimes lying on the belly makes the lower back feel a bit more tense. And if you're lying down, just enjoy the vibrations of the Oms and Shantis. Inhale to begin, inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Bring your hands together, rub your palms, making a movement a little faster. And place your palms over your face, inhale deeply. Open your eyes to the darkness of your hands. Slide your hands to your head, chest, and bow your head. Namaste. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. I hope you enjoy this space practice.
Thanks, Geny. That was really good.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes,
I need to practice shoulder stand.
Pardon?
I need to practice that one.
Mm.
You used to, when you're young, you can do it really easy, can't you?
Yes. Yeah.
I felt like I needed a bit of fear.
You find that you need